Gary, let's start up talking about a new arrival.
Yeah, it's something we felt we needed. Not easy to find. We haven't got enough strikers anyway at the moment. Certainly not strikers that we've got strikers, but they haven't. No one's really hit that bit of form just yet. Hopefully, by bringing in another striker with good pedigree, albeit young pedigree and inexperienced pedigree, but Jordy's scored quite a few goals for the under-21s at Man City. I know they've got high hopes for him. I had a good chat with Brian Marwood after, who's in charge of their young players. But he's not young anymore. He's 2021. He's got electric pace, and I'm talking electric pace. And he's got a good goal-scoring record. So this is his first loan. So of course everyone's taking a bit of a chance. I don't think I'm taking a chance. I think he's ready, and I think he's a man now, and he needs this type of football to get his career going again. He's played for England under 19s and under 20s. He then had a bit of an injury a year or so ago. He's now come back strong, scoring goals again, and I'm very excited to have him in our team, because he is that striker who's on the shoulder, who loves getting in behind defences, and he's a good finisher. So hopefully that is exactly what we've been looking for, and that will help everyone else around him find their game as well.
Yeah, so he's a different kind of striker to everyone else you've got here already, which is, exactly what you would have been.
He is, and I think he could play with any of the other strikers as well. You know what I mean? So whether it be AJ, Hates, even Granty, they're sort of number 10s, if you like. Whereas this lad, although he's not a target man number 9, he does like to play right at the top of the pitch, and he makes some very clever runs. So I'm excited by it, that's for sure.
Yeah, is it 3 months to begin with? Is that right?
Yeah, it goes up till January, and that's good, because he needs to know that it's long term. I say long term, but longer than just a month. And we'll all see how it goes, and everybody will be keeping an eye on how he does.
Yeah, and talking of loans that are coming up, we've got a couple of players that loans are running towards the end. Are there any updates on, are you looking to extend the players that it affects? Those?
Well, no, I mean, with Jack Price, he's done fantastic for us. But Jack, his month was always going to be until Simon Gillett and James Berrett came back. So this will be his last game with us. And that was the agreement with Wolves as well, because they got other plans for him. And so we thank him. He's still got Saturday's game to come, but he's been a good player for us while our contract midfielders have got themselves fit.
Yeah, and what about Jake? He's a little bit longer on his loan to go, I suppose, but is he someone you'd look to extend as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's done very well. The three keepers are working well together. They all sort of learn from each other, but that's still a couple of weeks off yet, so we'll make that decision when we need to. But hopefully Jake has enjoyed playing first team games again, and I don't think I can put anything down to him that's happened in the last couple of weeks as far as goals against. So hopefully we can keep him for a little while longer. We'll have to have a chat with Blackburn about that a bit later on.
Yeah, and Simon Gillett, you mentioned him already, so he's on course to make his return in a couple of games.
Yeah, he's on course. He'll definitely be involved in some capacity on Saturday. We're pleased with that, and so will James Berrett. They're completely over their injuries. So yeah, that's a good thing, because both of them at the start of the season I had high hopes for, but unfortunately they both got sort of pretty long-term injuries.
And MK Dons, a very good side, aren't they? Lost last week, but they are the division's top scorers, aren't they? So very capable.
Yeah, they're a very, very capable side. That's a good way of putting it. And Cole Robinson's had a few years to put this squad together. Him and the chairman have done some good business. They've obviously laid out a little bit of money to bring some players in, and they've got some good footballers. They've got round pegs in round holes, and we know that we've always got to play our best game to compete with them. And funny enough, most times we have played our best game against them and done okay. So they're not frightening to us, but at the same time, if you don't turn up and they do, then I think they're a championship club in the making, because they've had time to build their team into a championship type team.
Yeah, and they seem to have that never give up attitude as well, didn't they? They were 2 down against Bristol City, come back to 2-2, then lost it late on.
Yeah, they've got a lot of confidence in their team. Every single one of their players is comfortable with 1v1s. They're all comfortable in finding passes. You know, they've got that bit of quality that's the next level. The hardest thing is to actually get there, and hopefully there's teams like us that are seeing them as good teams, and you've got to make sure that you're up for it. And if we are up for it, then we'll give them a very good game. It should be a very exciting game, because Milton Keynes don't go anywhere and shut up shop. They come out to play.
And so they've got a player coming back to Hewish Park in Dean Bowditch. What sort of reception do you expect he'll get from the Yeovil fans?
Well, I don't know, because I wasn't here during Dean Bowditch's time, but I know from what Darren and Terry have said, I'm sure he didn't let Yeovil down at the time. He's a decent player, and I'm sure everybody that comes back to Yeovil that has been here previously, we always show the respect that another human being, let alone another player, deserves. So hopefully, I've never seen our crowd moan at somebody coming back to the club anyway, because that's just the way we are. We're nice people.
And from a Yeovil point of view, I guess you just like more consistency, wouldn't you? That's probably the key from the management point of view.
Well, it is, yeah, it is, and often consistency in games, because unfortunately we had, if you remember, a bad first half against Barnsley, and then a very good second half, and people remembered the second half. Against Crawley we had a really good first half, but a really poor second half, and people remember the second half, and then against Peterborough we had 2 good halves. So in 2 or 3 games that we've been inconsistent in those games. So yeah, you're right, that's what we've got to be more consistent in our philosophy, in our play, in our tactics, but more in our individual performances. That's really what it is, and that's what it takes to get back to the championship. Individuals finding their game on a regular basis.
Yeah, there's a sense that one win, put a couple of wins together, and that's going to more or less kickstart your season.
Well, we're 4 points away from being up near the top. I think in the playoff they're 16, aren't they? 3 teams are on 16. You look at it, that Milton Keynes have probably been one of the best teams in the league this season, and if we can get a result, we'll be within a point of them. So it is very tight still, because there's a lot of teams beating other teams. There's only Bristol City at the moment have seem to be not running away with it yet, but they've got the big number of points. So there's everything to play for, and as I've said, there'll be 18 teams maybe that will all be competing for the bottom to sort of playoff spots.